All right, what's up, y'all?
What's
What
up,
was that?
everybody?
What was that, Corey?
Oh, nothing.
Happy Monday, y'all. Yeah, let
Happy
us
Monday.
let us know who's tuning in early today. I saw Cassandra's here.
Cassandra's
made bragging about making her
20K.
first 20K there. That's what's up. I love to see that, Cassandra.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot more of that to come here with Q4 results. I'm excited yeah, there's always at least 5 or 10 new people that pop off and like, where did you come from? And they throw up like $100,000 December. And yeah, I'm excited to see you guys crush it this time.
I had to resurface the 0-day handle time intro video yesterday on the timeline.
Oh, that was a legendary
I did see
one.
it pop back up.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fucking legendary. Yeah, that's super legendary.
I'm just trying to network. I'm trying to meet people.
Bruh,
hey, it worked.
Literally, oh my God, he's made like 400 grand profit since then. Yeah, in 2 years.
That's crazy.
From scratch as a beginner entrepreneur too. What's up, Karen?
What's up, Karen?
Yeah, so guys, we're here every Monday to answer all your guys' questions, tap in, get you guys ready for Q4 on Amazon, literally whatever you guys need. So feel free to put in the chat, and we are happy to help with whatever y'all, whatever you guys need here.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the 4 of us are live every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern too. So, set a reminder, that kind of thing, if you want to make sure you're always here to hang out with us. What's up? William, is that
William,
I'm curious if that's actually your name or if that's a typo.
That's got to be a typo.
It's original if it is the real name. I like it. Sweet. Yeah. And I mean, maybe we can like go around the horn real quick, kind of share our best like kind of Q4, just like nugget. Obviously, you guys, if you need to know how to like source and that kind of stuff, dive into YouTube videos. The big thing I would add, like I keep seeing it from a lot of beginners, like, wanting to buy, stuff that's going to spike in price, or like Christmas decorations, or, oh, it's not expensive yet, but it looks like it might get expensive, right? There's going to be a ton of profitable stuff. So don't buy to speculate. There's going to be too much that's already sitting there. Oh, that
You
is
don't
his
have enough
name.
money,
Cool.
and anyone in here doesn't have enough money to buy to speculate, right? One of the best things about back to school, which we just kind of went through, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all those times to buy, all across Q4, is that you have the ability to buy and act so quick, right? You have the ability to buy at a cheap price and then list on Amazon and FBA, where you have a lot of flexibility and power and leverage with all the demand that's going to come onto Amazon, as well as the increased prices, right? So a lot of the seasonal stuff you can take advantage of, but I wouldn't necessarily send it into FBA, right? Source some of the Christmas stuff like we talk about, but just list it FBM, and you have the flexibility to maybe list it once and then across 2 or 3 other listings, maybe on Walmart as well, right? Maybe on Facebook Marketplace, whatever the case may be. But just stay as flexible and as really like cross-functional as possible, because that's where you're really going to kind of milk everything you can out of Q4.
Yep. Joseph said this will be my first Q4, so just trying to learn everything I can this time around. Sure. Yeah, you'll learn, Joseph, you'll learn a ton this Q4. There's a lot to learn, and I feel like I learn something new every year in Q4. So
going off that, one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give everyone in here is just document as much as you can within Excel and within Google Sheets. Right? Because the cool thing is, and kind of we were just alluding to it, a lot of stuff will go up in price, go up in velocity and demand, all those things. Right. So anytime you come across one of those products, save the link, document it, take notes, document how much you bought, right? All the things that you experienced, write it all down in an Excel sheet and keep it organized. Right? Because the thing is, a lot of these products will come about or will kind of resurface time and time again. And maybe you only bought 10 this year, right? Because you were not so much sure. But next year, when you're going through your notes, the same product is kind of resurfacing. And now you have the confidence to buy 50 or buy 100 or buy 200 and make that much more. You could squeeze that much more out of the same sorts of products, right? So just document and use and keep as good of records of all the things you are doing and trying this year, because you don't want to have to experiment with Q4 twice.
Yeah, speaking of shit like that, I was just on a coaching call the past hour, and we were running Keep a Product Finder searches for brands that only come from one place, downloading all the results, spreadsheeting them, and then plugging in the buy cost ASIN by ASIN during an initial sale. And then you can just restock them so easily by either updating those results with the current buy box or current pricing in line, down line, everything is fire. When you're, oh yeah.
I was going to say, and leveraging stores from an online arbitrage perspective, where you could only buy something in one place, is so powerful.
Low key, like almost every brand is like that. We're just not honest enough to admit that, like, if you learn how to make one website good, it can mean 50 good items forever.
Right,
You
like
know?
a couple good examples, and obviously these probably aren't super viable, but like Members Mark, right? Members Mark comes from Sam's Club, Kirkland comes from Costco, Brigham whatever Johnson comes from BJ's. Those 3 sites alone, if you find any single Members Mark product, what do you know? You know exactly where it comes from. You know it's likely not wholesalable because the store owns the brand, and you know anyone that's getting it from Amazon is buying it from that same place. So you only have to solve for one last bit of the equation, the price point. And again, with all these sorts of sites, there's 5 different things that you can always do to kind of manipulate and manufacture that price point, right? So, and then using all the sellers on those products to your advantage, right? Because the person that has 1 Members Mark product likely has 5, and then now you are connected to 2 other sellers that now have a total of 20 Members Mark products, all stemming back to that same initial source.
Really good question here. So Sandra says, placement fees are killing me. Any suggestions? Yeah. So while we have about a month and a half left of when you should be FBAing for this year before transitioning over to pretty much fully FBM for the Q4 season, doing optimized shipments on Boxem. So doing 5 identical boxes, no 2D barcodes on Boxem is going to help you avoid placement fees. So I'm going to drop a link to the tutorial on Boxem optimized shipments to show you how to do that. And another little announcement is the feedback requester is now live in Boxem. So an easy way to get more reviews is setting up automatic feedback that goes out, or feedback request that goes out to your customers. You can now do that in Boxem for custom templates or custom messages or just templates right there. So that's another thing we recently added on Boxem that y'all should check out. It's live in all accounts, and I'm going to put the optimized placement.
Yeah, get that set up ASAP. So if you have no reviews, you'll see a little bit of a bump on that. Amazon just kind of trusts your store if you have a couple reviews.
Definitely. And Jamal is a good question here. He said, when you're filling out an application to create a wholesale account and they ask for a brick and mortar location, what do you do if you don't have one? Is there a workaround? Yeah, Jamal. So typically what I do is if they're asking that on their application and you put no, typically they're going to automatically deny you. So what I like to do, instead of submitting that application with a no in that field, I like to just call them up and plead my case over the phone and just say, hey, I was filling out your application. I noticed you guys asked about a brick and mortar storefront. We're actually an e-commerce company, so we don't have our own storefront. However, we do have a warehouse space where we receive shipments, which could be your prep center, right? And then just have that conversation with them over the phone and talk it out, because it's going to be much harder to deny you when you pled your case over the phone than it would be if you're just like a faceless application that's coming in when they're getting like 100 of those a week.
But and again, like the people that restrict themselves and kind of put themselves into a little box of just an Amazon seller are essentially creating their own grave, right? You're not just an Amazon seller, right? You list on Walmart, you list on Facebook Marketplace, you list on Amazon, you list on Poshmark, Mercari, you list on 7 different platforms, right? Because who wouldn't? They all generate lots and lots of eyes, and obviously you're in the money business, right? And you also support all the brands you partner with by leveraging some of your own margins for PPC and all those sorts. Like, so it's not just an Amazon seller. You're a wholesaler, you're a distributor, you're a retail store that just happens to operate online because it's more efficient in 2025. And you also have access to even more people than you would if you had a retail storefront. Also, like if you're doing the Mexico, Canada, US marketplace program, you have access to customers in 3 different countries, which sounds more advanced than obviously it is, but they may not necessarily know that.
Testy says, how can I get my LLC? Just ask ChatGPT how to do it for your state, but in most cases, it's just your Department of States or Department of.
You can just go on like Zen Business and spend $400 for have it done for you. That's what we did. It's so easy.
John, it's time for you to make your intro video on Twitter, by the way, too. You've graduated there. It's a requirement. So good to list on a listing if the brand is sharing buy box, but only 59 sales a month, and the brand has a stock of 50, even though it shows share. Great question. Stock counts typically can be very misleading because on most listings, a lot of people are hiding their stock counts, being completely honest, which kind of makes it so you should never really look at stock count too much. But in this case, probably avoid it because they might have just gone heavy in stock, or shout out, Uncle Fields of Profit for this. Go to the data offers tab and check if their stock count recently went up. A lot of the sold information in the data offers tab isn't accurate, but if you see their stock count rise recently, just loaded up a bunch of them, then you definitely want to avoid it right there, because they're probably going to retain a lot more of that buy box share now that they have more stock.
You almost always want to avoid things for the brands on it anyway.
In
Because
general.
a lot
in
of times
general.
it's followed by, oh, wait, we actually do care about this. Let's kick off the 10 of the resellers on the listing.
Not a
Right.
long-term strategy.
Mohammed said, "Hi guys, I quit Amazon without making any significant sales as a non-US resident, but I am back now." Awesome. Well, good to have you back. And yeah, it's doable even as a non-US resident. I know plenty of people who live overseas and do really well on Amazon. So keep at it, keep applying what you're learning, and you'll be good.
Talk about the New Zealand dude. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's in Australia, right?
Ah,
Actually now I remember who you're talking about now, the guy in New Zealand, Kong. He started in New Zealand. He started as a brand new beginner, was doing wholesale like from day one. And I think by the end of year one, it scaled to multiple six figures in revenue. He's crushing it. But he's really sharp. I think he has like a sales background or like some sort of high level corporate background. But yeah, doing it on Amazon US, living in New Zealand, heavy accent, right? So when he goes to call suppliers, I think he's kind of got that somewhat of a barrier because of that, but he makes it happen. He makes it work either way.
yeah. If you call enough, like, you know, you're going to make progress. It would be, you got to do so much that it would be unreasonable for you to not make significant progress, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But also, like so those of you who are just getting started, don't get discouraged, because a lot of this game is just capital available, right? You could only do so much. You can only make so much headway with, you know, a couple $1,000s to your name. The people who make strides quickly are a lot of the people that, you know, have had success in a previous endeavor, have been working 9 to 5 for tens of years, right? Have a loan from their uncle, right? Whatever the case may be, a lot of these people who really make line moves quick do it because they have access to money. The information is out there. It's obvious, right? We all have hundreds and hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. There's all sorts of content available, right? The knowledge and the content should not be the issue. The money thing gets a little bit more tricky, but again, with enough patience, you'll get there.
Maybe even more important than like money and knowledge is just like the willingness to do it, though. That's why you typically see like younger guys and girls doing it really quickly, because they don't have the programming of like, oh, I have to think about this 18 different ways before I go buy some junk to resell.
Well, but the people that are, you know, 19 years of age that are, you know, chilling in college, not doing anything else, you have such a luxury, right? We see all the time the people that, you know, have kids and wives and families to take over and still make it work. And so the people with no responsibilities, with all the time in the world, have no excuses.
That's facts right there. How long did it take your seller account up? 30 minutes, and then like 2 or 3 days of actually verifying. Right there. Everything is gated. Do you recommend getting a loan? So patience, definitely not. Start with cash. The only time we're ever going to even consider using leverage is once you're already established and already really consistently getting sales, right? In terms of gating, right? So there's a lot of auto ungate stuff, significantly more than you think. I've been doing a lot of auto ungate sourcing calls with my coaching guys and kind of like, you know, making sure they understand that there's a lot of stuff you can move right over from the get-go. The big thing, patience, is just making sure that when you're plugging in auto engates, that you're actually hitting request approval and apply to sell, right? So if you go ahead and plug in a Red Heart yarn product and then hit request approval and apply to sell, or a Dan or Shoelaces product, hit request approval and apply to sell, it's gonna let you list it right away from the get-go. And after you hit request approval and apply to sell, it's just literally just gonna ask for like the quantity and price, meaning it's an auto engate. It's not going to ask for like documents and stuff. If you plug in like a Gap item, it is going to ask for documents. That would be a gated item right there. Yeah.
Cassandra, that's awesome. So she said she used her year-end bonus from her 9-to-5 job to invest in her wholesale business. Yeah, Cassandra, that's a great way to get capital for the business. A lot of people, you know, I've heard of people, which I don't necessarily recommend this, but I've heard of people borrowing from friends and family to have that starting capital. Some people use their savings. Some people cash out other investments. But yeah, using the bonus for inventory as a way to kind of build the foundation, I think is great.
That's why, like, you'll see a lot of people with
a good investment tool.
Yeah,
You know,
you'll see a lot of people with
Sports
with like you keep the 9-to-5, that kind of thing. That's why we're never the
man.
we're never the people to tell you to quit the job and that kind of thing. Like use the job, let it funnel into business, and then eventually it's like, why do I even have this job? My Amazon business is like making 2-3 times as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fire, Cassandra. Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, of course, patience. And then also too, like the big thing is auto ungate leads hang out around each other. So once you find a couple profitable auto ungates, Warren and I both have good videos on that. Then you can storefront stock off there to find other profitable auto ungates as well. And before you know it, you've sold 1 or 2K on Amazon, and you found a bunch of other auto ungate stuff too. Or before you know it, you sold 1 or 2K on Amazon, and a lot more stuff becomes auto ungate too.
Yeah. But like the cool thing with Amazon is, like, again, we talk about it a bunch, is just like leveraging all the adjacencies. If you go through a bunch of those red yarn products, likely is the case that other newer sellers are probably selling those sorts of things, right? If you go through their storefronts, also just as likely, you'll probably find them be exposed to some other brands that are probably more beginner and newer seller friendly, a lot of ungates, right? And then you'll find another brand that you can auto ungate, and then that may connect you to 4 other sellers that are having some other. It's like using the information that, I mean, Amazon is a wealth of information. Learning how to use it and leverage it and use that to pivot to your next play. That's going to be really the skill that is going to bring you as big as you want the business to go.
Hell yeah. Okay, great question from Mason here. My seller account was just approved, signed up for seller. Was there an updated video? Because the video I watched, an additional cost section. Yeah, so inbound FBA shipping was moved to the top there. So for inbound FBA shipping, put 80 cents per pound, and then prep fee, misc fee, probably going to be 0 for you unless you have a prep center, and then misc fee percent should be your sales tax percent, which, you know, if you live in Texas, can be like 8.25%. If you live in, Florida, it's going to be like 6.5 or 7%. It depends on your specific state real quick. Yeah. For almost everything.
Anything that's profitable. As far as ungating goes, just source things that are profitable and then use that to get ungated with. You don't need to like specifically buy somewhere else just to get ungated.
Bang, bang.
Dennis, that's awesome. Yeah, borrowed from dad $800. Cool. Found a good product, borrowed 3K more, paid him back within a month. Now getting some capital from my bro for around 10%. Yeah, that's great. I mean, what I like about that is that you started with a small amount, relatively speaking. It's like, hey, let me borrow $800, prove to you that this works, get that proof of concept, make a profit, turn around, do it again, and now your brother's going to earn some interest on his money, which is awesome. Good work.
Well,
cool. You got the family kind of support. And before too long, they'll be asking you how you do it. That's typically how it goes. They're like, you're doing what? Are you sure? And then they'll help you out a little bit. And then they're like, all right, you got to teach me.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody asked here, what's the best way to get started in wholesale as of today? So I've got a lot of good videos on my channel about how to find brands quickly and easily. So I would watch those videos and just spend a couple of days learning what a good brand looks like. And I go over that in my videos. And then from there, just find 10 to 20 brands that you feel like would be a good fit, call them up, ask to open a wholesale account. And if they shut you down, just ask who their distributors are. I mean, that's pretty much the best way, not only the best way to get started, but that's the best way to scale too. It's the same process. It's just to get started, you just start doing that research and that outreach. And then to scale, you just do more of it. So it's pretty much the same concept.
Is an LOA required for brand ungating? Nope. An LOA, which you'll never really ever do unless you do wholesale, or an order confirmation email / invoice, etc. That latter part is what you should do. Focus on products that are already ungated or try to ungate first. All the above, but we love the idea of buying profitable auto ungates and working on an ungate or two that requires documents as you're getting started. Yeah. Yep, in California. Yeah, Mason. So it's going to be somewhere between 7 and 10%, depending on what part of Cali you live in there. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see. Oh, damn, Lamar, your brother has a lot of. Hey, send Uncle G Bobby a sample. Yeah,
send me a sample. I love barbecue sauce.
It's got to be low sugar, or Garrett's going to send it back.
Yeah, Lamar, we're banned for the
G Hughes is the only option.
G Hughes is good, and it is low sugar.
About an hour ago.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, it was 0 sugar, but it has a couple of things. But yeah, it's expensive though.
Yeah, that stuff's good though.
So good.
Does it have
as far as launching the product though, Lamar, we don't really
love them.
Yeah, we don't launch products, Lamar. We just sell things that already sell. It could be a good idea, but like specifically with barbecue sauce, you want to, if you're going to do a private label, like doing your own thing, you want to sell something that's like decently expensive per ounce, right? Because otherwise it's going to be tricky for you to sell a lot. Like your best bet is going to be direct to customer. Otherwise, you're going to have to, sell like a 12 pack for $40 or whatever, right? For the economy to really make sense. Because if you're selling it for $8, you'd have to be making it for like $1 for it to be worth the time.
Yeah, but now on the other hand, I mean, if your brother's like, if that brand is already crushing it, like if it's well recognized, if it's like regional, then that makes it a lot easier to launch on Amazon. But if not, yeah, it's probably going to be easier to sell either over your own website or, get into retail stores, something like that, than competing with the, 500 other barbecue sauce brands on Amazon.
In fact, Chris says, I want to say thank you for all the knowledge. Yes, sir. Yeah, let's get it, bro. Let's get it. Right now to Prip. Yeah. That's fire. Should use Boxem with FBM. So Boxem you use for all your analytics, the Boxy AI, feedback requester, and your FBM and FBA listing, and then your FBA shipments. You can't do FBM packages through Boxem. You can list them, but you can't actually buy the shipping because Amazon doesn't want that customer data shared, which completely makes sense.
Cassandra had another question here. So she said, as a relatively new seller, how should I tackle and secure net 30 terms? So good question, Cassandra. Really, all you have to do is ask. Now, when if you don't have terms with any of your existing suppliers currently, go to your best supplier and ask for terms with them. And what they're going to do is they're going to make you fill out a credit application. And chances are they're just going to give you like net 5 terms to start if you don't have any credit references or nobody else that you can kind of refer to them that you've been working with. And so what you do there is you just keep paying your bill on time, and eventually they'll move you to net 10 and then net 15 and then eventually net 30. But the point is to just prove to them that you pay your bills on time and that you're a good customer. So it just takes a little bit of time if it's the first account that you're getting net 30 with. But once you get net 30 terms with one supplier, it's way easier to get it with other suppliers too.
Bang, bang. So I can sell brand Yeah. So Shai, so we just talked about doing online arbitrage. So buying from big websites. Yeah. When shipping, can you send in it? Oh yeah. It's 100% Mason. Yeah. So for a while that was the limit. It's a little bit bigger now, but you could literally always send in as small as you wanted. Boxes right there. Yeah.
It's up to 36 inches, but it can't be 36 by 36. Only one of it can be 36.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It used to be 25. And that was the max, too. The minimum theoretically, I guess, is 1 by 1 by 1. But you just
if you're sending like a ring or
like
something,
one
very small,
one
or like an extremely dense piece of metal or something. It's a 50 pounds, but it's like a tiny cube.
Yeah. Appreciate your input. Yeah, got you, Lamar. Yep, Modizy, yes sir. Right there. Good morning, Uncle Pete. What up, Pete?
Pete body,
bro.
How we doing?
What up, Pete? That's it. All right. Hey, drop in the chat how many points I'm going to score at basketball today, man. Drop in chat right there. How many points I'm going to score at basketball today here, family.
Okay, hitting you with the 0.
Yeah, no one responded yet. My dog's going to hold it down for me in the chat. Need higher morale, G-Bot. Yeah, high key, man. Dude. Yeah, all right. Well, the games are to 16.
Don't tell me he's scoring 14 out of 16.
Very optimistic thinking there.
He's the type of dude that's going to have more screens than points.
I've been setting illegal screens for like damn near two decades. And no one says anything.
Everyone needs a good screener on the team. Get the media open.
That says a lot about you, Corey. That take says a lot about you right there.
Yeah.
Is that normal? That's not super normal, but that's awesome. Yeah, that means
that's very quick, Pamela.
You totally FBM that listing too if you're already getting sales.
I mean, Miles doesn't. His jump shot's broken, so he needs to contribute to anywhere he can. Assists, steals.
Yeah, menace. No, I'm not playing defense, man.
I'm not playing defense. I should hell no.
FBA taking a while. I'm listing as FBM. Are getting buy box. How low do it go so I don't tank listing? It's probably not a pricing thing unless you like really, really undercut it. You should probably just FBA it all, like all the listings basically on there. Yeah. Don't worry about LOAs, man. Like just use invoice and order confirmations. That's going to get you right.
Yeah, you can beat like account all the complaints and stuff. The only don't sell products that the brand already sells, hacker, and that'll help you avoid the vast majority of those types of issues.
Facts right there. Cool. All right, y'all have a great day. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Everyone except Garrett. Y'all have a great day right there. And, go Giants, man. 1-3. Go Giants. Go Giants, baby, right there. Yeah, go Giants, man.
See you guys next week.
Have
Peace.
a great rest of your Monday, family. Great rest of your Monday.